right. And this is the first time ever using the Switch mobile app to do some streaming. I don't know how the sound's going to be in here because it's pretty loud in here already. To make sure everything is good. Hey, Pat Nat official, welcome. So hopefully you can hear me okay. I've never done this before. I just figured it'd be cool. I'm here at the fire station on Monday. And I figured, you know, a lot of people like the stuff about, like just things about the fire station in general. So why not, while I'm here, just do an IRL stream. And instead of just taking a video that I'm gonna cut up and do something. Hey, what's up, hey DJ? Taking a video I'm just gonna cut up and do something with later. I figure I can actually interact with people while I'm here for a little bit, while I'm sitting here patiently waiting for a call in front of this kick-ass view. Yeah. I mean, it's always something that's fun to do. But we have been here for, oh hey, Echo Rider. We've been here since 5, like that's when the ship started. Engine we haven't gone anywhere. We have not gone anywhere yet at this point. But the ambulance has gone out twice. The ambulance actually was on the code just now. They went to a call that was for like sick person or something like that. And I looked at the screen a little bit later and saw that they upgraded it to a working code. So we have a brand new, just became a charge EMT on that unit. And so he's, when they get back, I might have to end this and go to a hot wash or something like that because probably the first time the person's ever, you know, had a code situation or anything like that. So I don't know how long this is gonna last, but I figure while I was sitting here waiting. But anyways, as you can see, we're at the fire station. You can look at the beautiful out the bay doors. I guess I don't have to have you guys see my face the whole time because I can still see this. I can just turn the camera to the other camera, and then you can see like this is our beautiful road out here that I stare at all the time. But yeah, the flags are the way they do the engines in this county is pretty awesome because, you know, all the engines just look pretty badass with these flags on it. Oh no, actually this week, hey DJ, this week, so I'm normally, like I'm sitting here this week. This is the officer side. This is my gear right here. You can tell that that's my gear, even though it's backwards. I didn't realize that these cameras were backwards on this thing when you do the stream. But that's my gear right there, obviously. This is the, hey, let's actually get in. So a lot of times, I've been the officer mainly for a while. Driver obviously would sit over there in the driver's seat. This is the officer seat. I normally ride as the officer. I've been a driver for over a year. I just haven't gotten too much driving time in, and the last couple weeks we've been without a, oh, red saying, okay, that's good. So it's only backwards to my view. So we've been without a driver for a while. Our driver just retired. Since I can do both, we put out a request for either a driver or an officer, and the last couple people who've come in the last couple of weeks to be able to ride have been riding in they've been officers, and I'll have to jump over and be the driver. It's a really weird, so I'm a master firefighter, and the ranks in the fire service go like, was there a cheers? Hey, thanks for the bits. Hard to see when donations come through, but love it. Can you guys hear me okay, at least? So obviously you heard me talking about the backward sign. So Crackmine fan, what's going on, Rebecca? So the ranks in the fire service, on the fire side, the basic ranks, you got your fire 1, fire 2, fire 3, master, lieutenant, captain, then you get up into the chief's territory. That's what we have in my county. I'm not sure if it's different in other counties or not. Once you become a fire 3, you're technically allowed to ride in the officer's seat with the provision that the unit would fail if you as a fire 3 did not get in the officer's seat. So there's a provision that allows a fire 3 in the officer's seat. I've been riding the officer's seat since I was a fire 3 because we were in dire need of people, and the unit would not have gotten out if I didn't ride as a fire 3. Then I got promoted to master. Master is like the minimum level they want you to be at to be a standing officer. So that's what I am now. I'm also a driver. You only have to be a fire 2 to be a driver, actually, but I'm also a driver. And when you have somebody who comes in like to cover one of the spots who's higher than a master, the higher ranking person is supposed to be in the officer's seat. So if I'm a master and can drive but there's an officer who comes in, or somebody comes in who's a lieutenant or higher, they have to be in the officer seat, and I have to move over to the driver's seat. So that's what's been going on with the driving and stuff for lately. Oh, we're gonna go. Daughter's going to junior fire this summer. How old is she? Is she? Is it 16 that they want them to start being juniors? It feels like I'm on a call because I'm actually in the engine. I actually want to get some light in here. Let me go turn on the battery. Here. So we got to keep these. Baby's good. Baby's good. He's a big boy, that's for sure. But so over here, I gotta go to the driver's side. We keep these things plugged in to charge because you're running a lot of equipment in them. And there's a battery switch that we turn off. I showed you guys this in my other video, but I can flip it on so I can go get some lights in that seat over there and show you guys. I guess I'll let the headlights stay on. The headlights are on when I do that, but plugged in, it's not actually gonna hurt anything. And that was the radio. Actually, all the flashers are coming out, which is kind of crazy. The guy who's driving this thing's gonna come out and be like, who just turned on my engine? But now I got some light in here. And look, you have the white light that you can turn, well, my door's open. So the light's gonna be on because my door's open. But you can always turn on these red lights on the top. White light would be off if you're driving so that you don't blind the driver out when you're going somewhere. But this actually gives you like a nicer view of, yeah, okay, so 16 is the age of the junior firefighters. No, that's cool. I wish there was a program like that. I always said, back when I lived in Michigan, my buddy and I, we were going to go for, we wanted to go be volunteer firefighters. And strangely enough, we couldn't get anybody to like find out how to get into the programs there in Michigan. It's not nearly as big of a volunteer system. There is a volunteer system there, but not nearly as big. The volunteer systems out here are much larger and easier to get part of. And that's why when I came out here after I became a nurse, it's like, go finally do this dream, become a firefighter thing, and I've been doing it for 8 years now. So the last call I was on last Monday night, so I'm here every Monday, and hell, maybe I'll make this IRL a weekly thing, IRL from the fire station, this weekly thing from here, as long as I can keep my phone charged up and have some things to do, and you guys enjoy it. Like, this is what it's all about. Like, this is something that I'm doing because I enjoy it, but there's no point to doing it if you guys don't enjoy what you're seeing as well. But the last call, so last week I was driving, and at 5:30 in the morning we got a call for a fire alarm at one of the buildings in our first due. So it was a first due fire alarm for us. It wasn't a box alarm, which is, a fire alarm means the fire alarm in the building's going off. Nobody's confirmed there's a fire. There doesn't necessarily seem to be a fire. There's not like, people aren't seeing smoke coming from everywhere. And what it was, the fire alarm went off because somebody was trying to cook breakfast and burned it. So it wasn't a big deal, but that was the last call I went on. You went to the Masters this weekend and you saw a giant gravel pile, and you started laughing, and I looked at me and asked how you were, and I said, Jeff's house is under that. Thanks so much for that. But I figure, like, from here, this perspective is also a different perspective than you normally get, so we're gonna put you guys in the eyes of the officer here for a minute. And boom. So I'm gonna try to make sure this is zoomed out enough so that you guys can actually see this. And so this is me, like, from the perspective, like, I'm just gonna put this thing up here. This is my perspective of where I'm at. Normally I'd be wearing these things, but driving to a call, it's really interesting because the officer has a lot of work to do. So notice right in front of me is this massive book. Basically, this book is split up in such a way to go where I have my running routes up here, I have my water maps here, and then I have my complex maps here. And all this stuff is, let's say we're going to something on, so let's go just pick a random road here. Pine Haven Terrace Road. Actually, that's gonna be one I don't know too much about because that's not in my due area at all. We'll go to Schuylkill. Schuylkill, because it's a fun word to say, and it's a cool road. But if I go to somewhere like, it's really hard to do this with one hand, but I gotta look through this thing. And you gotta do this really fast because this is what you have to do. If we get a dispatch to someplace that I don't know where to go, I need to find a running route in here for that. I mean, I know how to get to Schuylkill, but am I looking in the wrong place here? Hold on a second. Am I spelling it wrong in my mind? Oh, Schuylkill, that's it. It's S-C-H-U. So if I were to go to like Schuylkill Road, I can jump into here and show me Schuylkill Road, gives me an address range because there can be multiple ones for these different addresses. Trying to zoom in so you guys can see that. And it tells me exactly how to get there from like my fire station. You know, right at Connecticut, right on Knowles, right at Beach, left on Garrett Park, It tells me which direction to turn to get to whichever direction I gotta go. And then it tells me this, these map numbers for this right here. So it says these addresses, 10900 to 11500.
Ambulance 721.
It's really loud. Are on map 526. So that's when I gotta come over here, knowing that map 548.
Montgomery to ambulance 721.
That's my station right there, station 5. But I need to go to 526, so I need to know how to get to 526 from where I'm at. Granted, like I said, I know this one. So, map 526, there's Schuylkill Road actually right there. So, this is Schuylkill, but what I'm doing is I know that I'm coming from down here off the map, because I know this area. I'm coming up Knowles, I'm making that right on Beach, going down here to Garrett Park, if you remember those directions, making a left, and then here's Schuylkill. The important thing about this is not only am I getting directions for how to get there, but I have to see where my hydrants are, because if this is a fire call and it's at, say, like 110, I would know that it's somewhere between this and this, and I have to tell my layout instructions on like where to go. So just so you guys are aware, and the only reason I did that is because I don't think I've ever, I'm flipping back to the front, I don't think I've ever showed you guys the officer seat too much. I showed the driver's seat a couple times in those videos. But just to know the complexities of like actually what you have to do when you get in here and you go on a call or something like that. So in doing that, I didn't read any of the chat. Ooh, subs! Somebody said subs. Oh, Mongwin! Mongwin, thank you for the sub. I much appreciate it. The maps are kept up. So the last set we had since I started here, and we got these ones about 2 years ago now. So they're not kept up that often, which is unfortunate because there's a lot of GIS data which has the new hydrants and stuff in it that comes out as hydrants update. And it's really funny. The fire service is a strange place. I've been trying to convince them to go to an electronic system for a while on this stuff. People don't want to go to electronic because they're old school and think that paper is the more reliable thing, and I think they're insane. I'm also a technology guy. I'm a nursing informaticist. I have a master's in IT. I grow up with technology. I want technology. I also rely on GPS. I have very poor directions in getting places. So I want there to be a tablet sitting in front of me. I want this to be replaced with a tablet and it just be able to give me the directions. I have something on my phone called Active 911. I get all the calls come directly to my phone. Jesus Christ. All the calls come directly to my phone and I can click a button on there and it maps me to it just like the standard. I'll wait for this because it's really loud.
In a black Mercedes, overdose. Ambulance 751 response to Bravo Box Area 2008 2150.
And I can get GPS data straight there, but they won't incorporate the hydrants into it because they don't want people to become reliant on it. I think it's insane. I think it's insane. We're going to get to the point where we have electronic maps for all this stuff here. Other counties do. There's other counties that completely use electronic maps. And then the paper maps are your backup. That's how life should really be. But it's just, it's very, very strange. So there's snow here. There actually was a little bit of snow earlier today, very little bit of snow, and there was some snow this weekend, and like tomorrow's supposed to be 80 degrees. So it's going to be really strange to see how that actually goes. Is GPS not super reliable? I mean, it's GPS is one of those things that gets a lot of people in trouble because they assume that it is 100%. I wonder if I can set this thing up somewhere so I can just talk to you guys without having to hold it. I should have brought a. I'm trying here. There we go. Got it. I mean, GPS is one of those things that gets a lot of people in trouble because they assume it's 100% reliable, and it's not. I mean, you have to know that the computer, it's not like the computer's going to make errors per se. The computer does what it's programmed to do. If you program it to just follow you based on your GPS coordinates, it's not going to make an error per se, but it's going to, if it lags behind your GPS coordinates or something like that, it's going to take you to the wrong spot, or you're going to miss your turn. So you have to be cognizant of that. But when I'm looking at a map book like this right here, I have absolutely no idea where I'm at in relation to this, except for I'm saying, oh, I'm going to be passing, Decatur Avenue soon. I have to be on the lookout for Decatur Avenue to know that that's going to happen. So that's my whole rant on this stuff. I am all about electronics making life easier, work smarter, not harder. But that's not what everybody is about there. What would happen if the fire truck catches fire, but the station gets called to put out the truck? Okay, so it's an interesting question that you ask. We have what's called dues in the fire service, like anything, like my station is station 5. Anything that's a 5 box, we're what's considered first due to that area. It's a little bit more complex than that because that's not even the case anymore with location-based dispatch, but just think of it, general concept. If something dispatches in 5's area, 5 is first due. The only 5 place that we are, so let's say a station from down the street had a fire truck that was driving down the street and caught on fire. Yes, we would get dispatched to it to go put it out, just like any other vehicle fire. Oh, thanks for Tricky D Coyote. Much appreciated for the sub. You are fantastic. You and Morgan today are my sub people. I love you guys. But yes, I get dispatched to go put it out. However, if my fire station catches on fire, we would not get dispatched to put it out. It's actually a thing where if your station is on fire, your primary concern is to get the equipment out of the station, and somebody else will be dispatched as first due. There's a good reason for that, because you don't want to just jump out there and try to start putting out a fire when you really could just be getting apparatus out of the building, people out of the building, etc. Like that's what it's for. So yes and no to answer that question. Yes, I'd put out another fire truck. It just depends on whose fire truck and where it was at. Because if it was a fire truck in the station and it was here, no, I would not be putting it out. In theory, somebody else would be dispatched to do it. Wasn't there just a news story about a fire truck catching a fire somewhere? Probably. I mean, it happens. There was a news story in DC about a month ago now, of a fire truck taking out somebody and killing them, coming down a road too fast and didn't stop. These things are freaking, 30 or 40,000 pound vehicles driving down the street if you don't drive them carefully and appropriately, and not even necessarily the driver. Like, I don't know the story behind that one. I don't know whose fault it was. I don't know if it was the driver of the engine's fault. I don't know if somebody stepped out in front of them or went through a red light. I have no idea, but it could also be somebody else's fault. You always got to drive assuming that other people on the road do not see you. People always say that. A lot of people don't do that. The good drivers do that. I've talked about this before on my channel, but I'm a very defensive driver. I am not an aggressive driver. I want to get someplace in one piece. Doesn't mean I don't know how to drive fast and don't know how to drive well. I'm very defensive about it. The massive tank trucks. We have a volunteer firehouse down the street. Oh God, the tanker trucks. Those are filled with 3,000 gallons of water. Gallons of water weigh between 8 and 9 pounds a piece, like 8.48 or something. I can't remember the exact weight of it, but it's 8.5 pounds a piece. Take 13, or what are they, 13,000? Shit, now I don't remember how many gallons of water is in there. 13. We don't have a tanker truck here. We don't do rural firefighting that much from where I'm at. Other parts of the county we do, but not here. Shifts at the fire station. So my typical shift starts at 5P and goes till 7A. So like on Mondays is when I work. So when I'm gonna be here, it's volunteer, so I'm not really working. I'm working, of course, but I'm not getting paid for it. I come and after work, get here at by 5 o'clock. I leave in the morning at 7 and go back to work. So that's what my stuff is. So if you wanted, you could just leave the maps in the truck at the station and finally get the tablet. Yeah, I could. I easily could. I use my phone a lot. I use my Active 911 app. I wrote an app that pulls the GIS data. It's unfortunately not an app. It's a website. It takes a while to load because there's a lot of GIS data. I need it to help optimize it. And I wish I could dump the address directly from Active 911. That would be great. But I wrote a little program using Mapbox, the open source mapping tool. Like, you can use Google for it too, but Mapbox is what I was familiar with because of Daniel Schiffman doing videos on it. And I wrote one that pulls the GIS data, dumps in all the hydrants, and I can zoom into it and find hydrants. It just takes a little bit to load up, and it's a web interface, so loading it up on the phone is a little bit difficult, and you have to type in the addresses yourself, so it gets a little tricky. And then when I'm doing it in my car from my phone, it's not pulling in location data. It's not using GPS data. It was just there to see if I could do it. I should make it better, but I'm really Active 911 has the capability. It's not their problem. It's the county's problem that they won't open it up. Other fire services use the hydrant plug-in inputs that Active 911 provides you. There's a hydrant layer on it and everything. This county just won't. It's really strange. County seat is volunteer. Strange or seems strange.
Jefferson Street.
County seat. I don't know what county seat is.
Curry Fellows, the ALS 1 response, like 723 and 723 response.
Wait, Crack Mind Van, did you change? Did I miss a sub or something? You got more icons, don't you? Maybe I'm seeing things. I'm trying to scroll through the chat and see if I missed anything. But anyways, let me walk over here. I'm gonna go turn off the engine so we're not, well, it's not, the engine's not on the battery, just so I can get these lights off. And we can go take a tour of the back. We can show you guys whatever you want to see in this wonderful station that we're at right now. So with fire stations, hospitals, and family, how in the world do you find time to game? Well, if you've noticed, I don't have much time to game anymore, which is why I kind of want to get into this IRL Twitch thing, because it's like the only thing I really do have time for. It's because I can do it on the fly. It's really hard to even set time up for Twitch streaming in general. It's really loud up there. Because you have to like dedicate time to being at home in front of your computer, being able to game uninterrupted. The whole IRL world it's like amazing. If people are interested enough to watch me just doing what I'm doing at the fire station, I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna be here, you know, all night. Not that I'm not gonna stream all night. I was just kind of doing this as a proof of concept to see if this thing would actually work. Show us the fridge. Oh, you want to see the fridge? I'll show you the fridge. I have negative amounts of time. Yeah, that is the way it is. Oh, Submod and Twitch Turbo. That's the other one. Show us the fridge. Okay, hold on. Let me turn this camera around. Let me go see if there's any. Let me hold on. Let me before full disclosure, everybody in here, you're gonna be on a Twitch stream if that's okay.
That's cool. I just worked it.
Oh, it's the other. I had the camera the other way. Wait, I was waiting for confirmation before. Okay, they have said it is okay. So there we go. We got Jonah's a live-in. So he actually lives here at the fire station, just eating some food right now. Stuart is in there. Sandra, you're on a Twitch stream, by the way. So I can move it out if you want. Stuart is what do you call it? A swing shifter. He works two different days based on when his work schedule is. But they wanted to see the fridges, is why I came in here. So basically we have 3 fridges in this place. 1, 2, we have 3 fridges. This one's for the day work. So our station is career during the day, and night and weekend is volunteer. So you're on Twitch stream, but we'll talk in a minute. So day workers who are here, yeah, there you go, see day workers. They get their own fridge to store their stuff. You got, this is just the I'm gonna zoom out so I can get Vanna White in the picture here. This doesn't got a name on it. This is the shift fridge. It's just if you're here, we can store our stuff in there. And see, we don't have too much in it. We try to clean it out. It gets messy sometimes, as for sure. And then this is the live-in fridge. So the live-ins get their own fridge. There's actually only 3 of them right now. There used to be like 9 at one point, but so that's what that is. And this is the we'll come back in here in a minute. That's they just came back from. That last guy that walked in was Phil. He just got back from that ambulance call. You guys are gonna see the ambulance pulling in a minute. He must be getting some fuel in the back. But I didn't want to get too much because they're in there talking about that patient right now, and I want to go get the scoop on that in a minute. So I wanted to get the camera out of there because obviously we're not here to violate any HIPAA laws or anything like that, and not that they'll really be talking about specific enough details of the patient to be, you know, HIPAA violation. Because it's still HIPAA violation. People got to understand, like, when we talk about HIPAA, it's the Health Insurance Portability and Privacy Act, Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, HIPAA, not HIPPA, like a lot of people think. You can't even talk about, like, I can't go as a fellow nurse in the hospital setting. I can't just go talk to another nurse about a patient that I'm not taking care of. That's still a violation of HIPAA. So you can't talk about patients and say, this is the person's name, this is what they do, this is their social security. No, you can just give general scenarios of, like, anything that you can talk about that wouldn't be identifiable with the patient. Granted, we're going to have more identifiable information as general because we know the address of the patient. We know the address of the things we're dispatched to. So we'll know things like that. But I'm obviously not going to try to let any of that information get pushed out there into the Twitch world. That would be a career-ending disaster in a lot of ways. And also, I want to be, you know, respectful of other people and their stuff. So. Stuart's great. Vanna's pharmacy. Yeah. Anybody in the medical industry? I didn't know you were a pharmacy tech though. Hey DJ, good for you. Once you become that, if you go on to be a full-fledged pharmacist, that's where the money's at. All the pharmacists love their job because it's a good paying job and they really enjoy what they do. Yeah, essentially, Rebecca, you can say the basic things like that. As long as it's not identifiable, there's no way to identify the patient off of what you say. And obviously those lines get a little bit scary when you're sitting here dealing with the real world. That's why if I'm going to continue doing this, it's definitely going to be something I do very appropriately and make sure that nothing is crazy. So that's what that's going to come down to. I'm waiting for the ambulance to come back up here in the bay. You'll be able to see it actually pull in, and then I'll probably end the stream. For now, I want to go talk to them about the call. So as I'm the shift officer tonight, so I'm basically like I'm in charge of the crew, and it's my job to make sure that people are also mentally okay after something. I'm pretty sure the crew that we have on there is fine. But I'm just pretty sure of that. I want to go actually talk to them, make sure, because if it's the first time dealing with an important situation like that, people need to talk to somebody about it sometimes. They don't know. I don't know how they're gonna, how people are gonna react. Is it gonna be completely different than they thought? So you just gotta make sure people are okay. Oh yeah, correct my fan with the emotes. Yeah, pharmacists get to the good stuff, sure, but they wouldn't last in pharmacy too long if they get to the good stuff. If you know what I'm talking about. So. But anyways, let me know, like it's hard because I can't say, let me know down in the comments what you think, because the comments are happening in chat. I'm so used to doing YouTube. Let me know if this is something you guys want to see on like a weekly basis here at the fire station. I mean, I can always do other Twitch IRL stuff at other times and just chit chat and things like that, but I figured this was a good platform that would get people more excited. So I mean, I'm gonna try to continue this up. So expect on Mondays, as long as we're not too busy, we're not too tired, don't have too much stuff to do, that I can do something like this. Because you never know how the night's gonna go. I could be out all night on the engine. But at our house right now, there's only 2 rigs. We actually have another ambulance there's usually two ambulances parked right here, but one of them is at the shop. This is actually back to our old engine, and by old I mean 2014, so it's not old, it's a really nice engine, but our brand new engine is back in the shop getting some warranty work done on it. But in theory, we also have two engines that we could run. We don't have staff to run that many engines, but we theoretically could. So good, it looks like people want this. I'm gonna try to do it, and the only reason I'm cutting it so short right now is because I want to go make sure I talk to the ambulance, or the ambulance crew. I was gonna let you watch the ambulance come back just to see the cool view of its lights, and I was actually gonna help back them up too, because, that's a nice thing to do, so nobody has to get out. I don't know where he's at though, it's kind of strange. Might just be taking a while to get the fuel. So I gotta wait for them to get up here anyway though, so I can answer any more questions you have for the next couple of minutes, because until the rest of the ambulance crew is actually up here, can't really start this hot wash anyway. So people for the light fires on Monday, so you can stream. Yeah, that's good. Make sure you let the people know in my town not to light any fires on Monday. I'll tell you, the crew would be a little upset with you for that though. Not because, it's funny, everybody always says they want to go to a fire, they can't wait to go to a fire. People get into the fire service because they want the adrenaline of fighting fires. When people say that, don't take it the wrong way. People don't want shit to burn down. Like, that's not the intent of what they're saying. So just take it with a grain of salt and understand that as well. So, where's the fire pole? I mean, I can pretend that that's one right there, the one that holds the flags. It's a pole at the fire station. I can pretend that's our fire pole. We have more trucks than staff we can run. That's a good question. Actually, a lot of times the county likes to make sure that you have a backup in case something goes wrong, and we sometimes do have enough staff to run 2 trucks. We used to, because we used to have 2 trucks a long time ago as well that were both ours, and we would run them both when we had a lot of staff. We just have it's a downturn in staff right now, so we've got to get more people. Like, we have a lot of staff actually. We have a lot of people who can sit in the back seat of this fire engine. Bunch of people who can sit in the back seat of this fire engine. You have much smaller pool of people who can sit in the front seat of this fire engine, either on this side or on the other side. So we actually are lacking because we don't have a driver and an officer, not because we don't have actually the physical number of people to do. And no, we don't have a fire dog either, unfortunately. We actually used to have a guy who brought his dog here all the time, and then there was some countywide rule about animals at the fire stations, and that stopped. He wasn't allowed to bring him here anymore. Right, they want the excitement, answering Chalice's question. Yeah, they want the excitement, but not the actual loss of stuff that happens. It's a very adrenaline-inducing industry. It's like take me for instance, emergency department nurse. Like, granted, I'm not doing emergency medicine. I haven't done it in a while because I'm in informatics now. But I wanted emergency medicine, emergency department nursing, because I wanted the adrenaline and the action of having a working code coming in that I'm trying to, sit there and save. No, I don't want somebody to come in having a working code. That is the last thing I want. But if it's going to happen, I want to be one of those people who's in that position and profession to try to jump in and make that safe type of deal. So, would I release a fire station shirt? Define release a fire station shirt. I can't really give you a shirt that's my fire station's, because then that would just be misrepresenting the fire station to have non-fire people like wearing it. I could make a shirt like do something with my logo on it that was fire station related to show that it wasn't an official fire station shirt though. Do I know any good fireman jokes? Yes, I know one. I saw this one on, it was one of those comedy shows, the Last Comic Standing, I think it was. There was a guy who didn't win, and I wish he had won, because he was a volunteer firefighter. And he said, what did he say? He said, I went up to somebody once and I saw like their kid riding a bike without a helmet. And I said, look, man, you gotta be safe and make sure your daughter wears a helmet. Like, you should have her wearing a helmet, be safe. I'm a volunteer firefighter. I know about safety, be safe. And the guy responded and he said, oh yeah? Well, I'm a career firefighter, not a volunteer firefighter, so I know about safety, so you just back off. And the guy said, no, you don't understand. I just told you I'm a volunteer firefighter. What that means is I can do your whole job in my spare time. And that is my favorite firefighting joke. Mainly because I sit on the volunteer side of the world. But anyways, guys, it looks like the ambulance is around the corner. So here, I'll let you guys, yeah, it's a burn joke. It's haha funny to me. It's not haha funny to the career firefighters. And no, I don't feel like that, obviously. It was just I thought it was a funny joke. But I am going to flip the camera around, let you guys watch this ambulance pull in as I wave it on in, and then we're gonna end the stream. So thank you for watching, everybody. Much appreciated, and hopefully we can get this thing working where you guys will see me every Monday from here, at least as many Mondays as I can possibly do from here. And yes, I am waving him in right now in case you guys couldn't see that, to make sure that he gets there. He's actually over a little far, but we'll make it happen. Yeah, he's got it. Gotta wash the mirrors at that point, so. And good. All right, guys, and I will see you next time.